Hi everyone and welcome back to Cloud Techs Club. I'm excited to kick off a brand new series focused on GitLab, one of the very powerful CICD tool and a key part of the DevOps toolkit. This series is crafted to guide you step by step from the fundamentals to more advanced concepts with a strong focus on practical applications. So before diving into the GitLab, let's first understand what is CI/CD. Now, if you look at this picture, it represents the simple workflow where developer pushes the code to the GitHub repository, which triggers Jenkins and Maven to build the artifact. So artifact you can imagine like a software piece of code now which is transferred to the Selenium where QA testing is performed, followed by code analysis, which is done via SonarQube. Finally, it will be transferred to Ansible, where it will perform the deployment of the application to the production environment. So it is important to note that using the same deployment tools across all environment is not necessary. The choice of tool should depend on your business needs and the technical requirement. So in our example, we have used Ansible for our deployment. However, you can also opt for alternatives like shell scripting, Python scripts, or even the Argo CD, which is often considered more advanced and efficient than Ansible for managing the deployments. Now suppose if you need to perform all these tasks manually, there are various challenges with this particular deployment. So the engineers need to manually push the code or the artifact to the next stage, and the process can be time consuming and it can be inefficient as well. There can be a high risk of failure, especially during the production phase, or each stage is dependent on the successful completion of the previous one, which might be causing the bottleneck in creating the artifacts and performing the deployment at the later stage. Now, solution to this particular problem is the CI/CD. So CI stands for the continuous integration and CD stands for continuous deployment and continuous delivery. So CI/CD basically automates the entire pipeline, which reduces the manual effort, minimize the errors, and ensure fast and more reliable deployments within the production environments. CI/CD basically automates the various stages of the software delivery lifecycle, which we also known as SDLC. In continuous integration, all tools are connected to work seamless together. For example, in this case, GitHub is integrated with Jenkins and Maven for building and creating the artifacts, a software piece of code, while Ansible is used to perform the deployment of those artifacts within the production, or you can call it as a staging environment. So this integration ensures the fast, more reliable and consistent software delivery within the environments. So this picture shows how GitHub, Maven, Selenium and SonarQube are integrated as part of the continuous integration process where code is managed, built, tested and analyzed automatically. When it comes to deployment and delivery, everything needs to happen continuously and smoothly. Once the code reaches Ansible, it takes care of the deployment straight into the staging environment before it will go into the production environment. From there, Users can access the applications using the DNS that are mapped with the load balancers, which distributes the traffic to the servers where the application is actually running within the systems. Now, in most of the real world scenarios, production environments use something called the blue-green deployment phases. That means if one environment, say production 1, goes down, production 2 automatically takes over since both are connected to the same DNS. So for the end user, there is no disruption to the services. It works fine all 24 hours without any sort of a downtime. Okay, let's come over to the next slide. So here you can see CICD works like a step-by-step pipeline process that helps developers build, test, and deploy applications automatically. Let me explain this in a very simple terms. Imagine you are a developer working on a new feature. So the process you will follow here is to first plan, where you think about what you are building. You will gather the requirements and design how the software should work. Then you start writing the code. Once the code is ready, it builds using the tools like Maven and Gradle. This basically means you are turning your code into a walking application or an artifact. Next, testing the tools like Selenium is used to make sure that the code works properly and doesn't break anything. So these 4 steps are part of what's called continuous integration, where everything is checked and integrated automatically. Now comes the second part. After testing, the software is passed on to the deployment tools like Ansible, Argo CD, or even some shell scripts. It's then deployed to the environments like development, staging, or production, depends on your working environment. Now finally, user starts using these applications, and operations and monitoring tools help make sure everything runs smoothly. This second half is called continuous deployment, where changes go live automatically after passing all checks. Now, to set up and run this pipeline, there are many tools available. Some popular ones are Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab, Circle CI, Azure DevOps. So each tool helps automate the process. You can choose the one that fits your environment. So in short, you can say the CI/CD helps make software delivery faster, easier without needing to do everything manually. Okay, let's come over to the next slide. Okay, so this is just a theory part. Now we understand how the CI/CD works and what are the basic concepts of CI/CD. So CI/CD is a modern approach to frequently deliver applications to users by automating various stages of software development. So CI/CD is basically a smarter way to build and deliver softwares faster with a fewer mistakes. Basically, the idea is simple. We try to automate as many as the steps as possible in the software development process. So instead of manually building, testing, and deploying the code every time, we let the tools to do the heavy lifting for us. This means less room for human error and a lot of more speed while performing the software deployments. So with CI/CD in place, even I as a developer can make a small change within the code, and that change can go live into the staging area or production in just a few clicks. Sometimes without even asking and even for the approval. Okay, so but CI/CD is not just about tools. It's a mindset. It's a practice that teams generally follow to work better together, deliver faster, and keeps the things running smoothly. So once you adopt it, it becomes the natural part of how your environment works within your enterprise. Okay, so this image basically shows the difference between the continuous integration, continuous deployment, and the continuous delivery. So in continuous integration, we focus on automating the build and the test stages. With continuous delivery, we basically move forward and prepare the code for the deployment, but it still needs a manual approval of the release manager or from the change management within the environments. In continuous deployments, everything from build to deployment is fully automated. So code changes go live instantly after passing all checks. So this is how CI/CD helps teams release faster with more confidence. We will continue with more in the next lecture. Till then, stay connected and keep learning. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos. Stay tuned. Thank you.